Today, the United Nations Security Council is set to vote on a draft resolution laying the groundwork for the next stage of President Donald Trump's peace plan in Gaza. CNN's Nick Robertson has more from Jerusalem.
So this Security Council resolution is expected to put more detail on that 20-point plan that President Trump put forward more than a month ago. We've already seen phase one of it. That was the release of hostages, release of Palestinian prisoners, and a ceasefire in Gaza. But there are a lot of other details in phase two. And in a draft of the resolution that CNN has seen, and it doesn't mean that this is the final draft that will actually get voted on at the Security Council. The draft that CNN has seen indicates that when the Palestinian Authority has made reforms, then that's when the political conversations about a pathway to Palestinian statehood can begin, that the US would bring those talks into being between the Israelis and the Palestinians. But already that's putting pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. There have been members of his right-wing cabinet who are saying there's no way that we're going to agree to a Palestinian state. The Prime Minister here, Benjamin Netanyahu, has come out and said there isn't going to be a Palestinian state. But the question that many people, Palestinians and diplomats that I'm speaking with here, are raising is, look, who is going to decide what these reforms are precisely that the Palestinian Authority has to go through, and who will determine when the conditions have been met? So there's ambiguity in what people are seeing in parts of this draft resolution. There's ambiguity as well in the details about how the Board of Peace that's envisaged will be precisely run, the detail on that, precisely its relationship with the international stabilizing force, precisely the relationship with the policing body, whatever that may look like, that will be inside of Gaza, and the relationship between all those different organizations. There's ambiguity there, and that raises concerns, because without detail, concerns in the diplomatic community at least, because without detail and specificity in that resolution, there's the potential for ambiguity in the field, and also the question of, when can that stabilization force be stood up and realistically ready to go into Gaza? And there's another issue as well at the UN Security Council that could even preempt the language that's contained in the US draft resolution, and that is because Russia's proposing a different resolution. If Russia, which is a permanent member of the UN Security Council, vetoes the US draft resolution, the US resolution, then it doesn't move forward. And whatever the language is, it hasn't passed, nothing comes into effect. Nick Robertson, CNN, Jerusalem.